right, let's get started.
Right.
All right, so welcome everyone who's with us on both the Zoom today and also our Facebook participants. We have attendees from all over today. So we have attendees from India and Brazil and the USA, and we actually have a live audience at a Cromer classroom, which is very exciting. So if you just go to, if you're watching live on Facebook or if you're logged into the Zoom, if you could just type in a comment or type in the chat to let us know where you're logging from. We always love to get an idea of where everybody's joining us from. So my name is Yasmin Mesbah. I am actually a Cromer alum. So the Cromer Graduate School of Business at Rollins College is one of the Global Links partners, which I'll tell you all about in a second. And I'm actually an alum of this school. I was actually in the NASA program, which is the classroom that is joining us live today. So it's a very interesting, world, right? It all comes back full circle. When I was in the NASA program, I was working on commercializing a patent for wound healing, which was a lot of fun, increased my entrepreneurial knowledge a lot. So it fits right in with what we're talking today about taking steps to succeed in the entrepreneurial world. And in addition to that, after I graduated, I started working as an adjunct professor of social entrepreneurship at Rollins College, and I'm also the program manager for the Global Links program. So to start us off for our session today, I will tell you a little bit about what the program is all about. So the Global Links program, it's a cross-sector, cross-cultural training program with the mission of empowering women through education and entrepreneurship. Our team in the US, India, and Brazil, we use a train-the-trainer program model that creates an ecosystem of support for female entrepreneurs in emerging markets so that they can be self-reliant and self-sustained. So the program starts with a female professor who receives training at Cromer and Rollins, and then she trains students in her home country once she goes back to mentor female entrepreneurs to improve their business, strengthen their self-confidence, and consider social and environmental impact of their firms. So far, we have trained 4 scholars in 3 countries since we started the program in 2012, which is very exciting. And in turn, these scholars and entrepreneurs, they created an entrepreneurial ecosystem of more than 5,000 students, 340 faculty and staff, and 740 community members supporting a total of 150 entrepreneurs. It's very exciting, and we have more to come because we have recently accepted our 2021 scholar, who is our 5th scholar in total and our 2nd from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Her name is Marielza Cavallari. She's also from ESPM, and we hope to bring her over to Rollins in spring of 2021. So today, our webinar will feature 3 wonderful social entrepreneurs from India, Brazil, and the US. 2 of our entrepreneurs are part of the Global Links family in India and Brazil, and the 3rd is from Rally, the Social Enterprise Accelerator, who is a partner of Rollins College and Global Links. So I will let each of the entrepreneurs tell you all about herself and her business. But first, before I turn it over to them, I will explain a little bit how the webinar will proceed. So we will start with a conversation between the entrepreneurs and Dr. Mary Conway Datuan, who is the Global Links faculty director, and she'll be moderating this session. We will then have some questions from mentors who have actually worked with each of the 3 entrepreneurs and are here now to support them as they do this conversation. And then we'll open to audience Q&A. So with that in mind, as you think of questions for the entrepreneurs as you're listening to them, feel free to type them in the chat anytime throughout the webinar, and I will go back at the end and pick a few to ask each of the entrepreneurs, and they will have hopefully some answers for you. So with that, I will now transition to Dr. Mary Conway, who will begin our conversation with the entrepreneurs.
Great. Thank you, Yasmin. And as Yasmin mentioned, or Professor Mesbah, for those of you who are taking classes with her, but today we're using all of our first names as a more informal approach to the Global Links webinars. But as she mentioned, I'm live on campus here at Rollins College in the Cornell Graduate School of Business, and so the mask is required. And you might see for the first time many of the students on camera who are also wearing masks, because that in this reality of where we are today, right, is required at all times on campus. So if you have any trouble hearing me, then we've got all the technology ready to go. Just put something in the chat and they will send me a little message, a little note that says, we can't hear you. So I think Yasmin mentioned that I am the faculty director for the Global Links program. At the same time, I'm a faculty member here at Crummer in the area of international business and social entrepreneurship. So this is the beautiful part of my job, is working with tremendous entrepreneurs that we have here today. So I'm going to call those out, and we can make sure that their cameras are live and their audio is live. We have the three entrepreneurs. So first from Brazil, Ani Abdul. Give us a wave, Ani.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And then from India, Sangita Sen. Sangita, she's still muted, I think. And then Suzanne Thiel, who is coming to us from Turkey, although she is originally from the United States.
Hello.
So, hi. Annie, can we start with you? And can you give us a little introduction about yourself and a little introduction about your business? And then I will ask Sangita and Suzanne to do the same.
Sure. My name is Ariane Garcia. It's a little tricky for English, so you can call me Annie.
Thank you.
And I'm graduating in fashion design, and then I did post-graduation in web designer. And I started my business when I was in 2014, more or less. I started doing some inking process, more immature, like I didn't have many ideas how to do that process, was a little more less techniques than I have today about it. And I start making some looking for resources and looking for another types of process, and I find out a way to do that a sustainable way without putting some bad materials into the nature. So making that more not using not any kind of animal rolls, so is everything vegetable, and trying to not put some impact in your ecosystem. So that's the original of idea of my company, and I try to mix some process without tie-dye and shibori, and that's part of what I'm doing today.
Great. And so, and as you mentioned, here's a scarf that
Yes.
I was to purchase from your studio, right, in Sao Paulo, but you also sell online clothing and scarves and different garments, is that correct?
Yes, I have a studio in Sao Paulo. I do scarves. I start doing pashminas, and then after that, I start making some mixes of products. So today I have some clothes and shirts and scarves and dresses and stuff like that. And right now in the pandemic situation, I start doing masks actually with the tie-dye process. So that's the new mix of products. So I have masks with tie-dye, with inking process. That's actually because it's natural process that doesn't have anything, you don't have any kind of allergy or anything like that. It's not causing any harm for you putting in your face, and any kind of problems with your skin too, because there's a lot of people with cancer stuff that using to put in the head, so doesn't have any problems with that.
That's a really good point that I hadn't really thought about, right? We're getting a lot of skin irritation from our masks. And so we should think about the materials that have gone into creating and washing our masks. That's a great point. And we will let everyone know before we close for today where the different products and services that you'll hear about today may be available to you. So thank you, Annie. Welcome. And we'll come back. Yeah, we'll come back to you in a second. Let's hear from Sangita. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are this evening?
Team. Hello, I'm audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, US team, and good evening, India team of Global Links, and all respectable person who are joined this webinar through FB and Zoom webinar. Thank you for inviting me at that type of e-conclave and on the women entrepreneurship. I am here to share with you my knowledge of entrepreneurship. And it is a big day for me, again, also big day for me because it is an Engineer's Day.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's Engineer's Day. Okay, great.
Yes, sir. Myself, Sangita Sen. I am the founder CEO of Sunny Ray Solution. I am passed my electrical engineering from Calcutta Technical School in 2014. I started my industrial journey as a service engineer. Almost 2 years I do this job. Then I joined a plant as a plant supervisor, garments, manufacture export plant. Moreover, 2 years I will here. And then after I joined a small scale industry, there I am a deputy manager. It is my total 14 years industrial journey. I have the electrical supervisor license under the authority of West Bengal Licensing Board Electrical. I complete my training in renewable energy, technology and solution. I started working on solar energy by establishing Sunny Ray Solution in the year of 2018. Sunny Ray Solution deal with the solar panel installation as a system integrator. And we maintain the plant, we sell the solar product, we have a research and development unit. Our research and development unit makes some solar product also. We organize or provide entrepreneurship and skill development program on renewable energy. We believe solar power for everywhere and everyone. We also motivated our customer by telling that solar energy is not an investment. It's an asset for you 25 years. Thank you.
Sangita, you bring up a really good point that you are producing products, but at the same time, you are training the next generation of solar users and solar engineers, if I can use that word a little bit loosely. And that's a really important element of entrepreneurship, right? Is not only doing what you're doing today, but thinking about how to support the next generation. So that's really awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And you are in Calcutta now, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and just for our audience that's here in the States, what time is it in Calcutta now, Sangita?
Again, ma'am?
What time is it in Calcutta now?
What time? 6:19. 6:19 p.m.
Great. Okay.
And I guess, yeah.
Yeah, great. Let me ask our third entrepreneur to introduce herself, and that is Suzanne Thiel, who is with us from Turkey today. Is that right, Suzanne?
That's right. Hi, yeah, I'm Suzanne Thiel. Actually, I'm the co-founder of Sened. Sened is Arabic for support, specifically during a time of crisis. We're a social enterprise that provides psychosocial support for Syrian refugee women in Turkey. I personally became interested in this because of my experience as a United States Marine Corps veteran. I've suffered from PTSD and depression, and I was able to heal because of the resources available to me and my community in my country and my language that's not available to everyone else. Among Syrian refugee women, particularly in Turkey, there's about an 80% rate of suffering from PTSD and depression symptoms. So that's what kind of put me here with my personal story. The founder of the organization is Reem. Here she is.
Wow, Reem is with us.
Yeah, Reem El Ghorn.
We didn't know she would be with us. That's great.
Yeah, here for moral support. Yeah, so I'm here with her. She won a gender-based hackathon or gender-focused hackathon with this idea to create this platform. But it wasn't just an idea. She asked all of her friends, and unanimously, they said something that could help them in their everyday lives or at all was to be able to have someone to talk to about their problems that wouldn't judge them. So that really, that's how I found her, and that's how we connected. And so we are on the same page there in terms of our goals and this initiative. So one of the common misunderstandings about refugees at all. So in order to leave your country, you have to have some resources. So our target demographic of younger Syrian women, they're all living in apartments. Most refugees in Turkey are not living in camps. That's hardly anybody. So most of the girls that we're targeting and reaching, they're assimilated into this new society, but with that comes added pressures or continuous pressures, including to get married, to become educated in a new language, in a place where they're not necessarily welcomed, carrying whatever perhaps trauma from the war or the journey to get here. So that's their situation, and that's why this is necessary. There's also the difficulty is that there's a huge stigma in the Arab world at large, but then particularly among Syrians. So the dictatorship, made this an agenda so that whomever sought help or wanted to talk to somebody for mental health, particularly, that they would be deemed crazy. But we're partnering with a really great organization, the leading Syrian psychiatrist, who's been working on stigma reduction, particularly among the Syrian refugee community, saying that even if that was the misunderstanding then, considering where we are now and everything that we've been through, the Syrians, it's okay to get help and we deserve to heal. So there aren't a lot of resources available. Our goal is to have a gender-specific platform, a way that these girls can be comfortable talking to each other essentially about this in their language, cultural context, etc.
Great. Wow, thank you. And Reem, I'm so happy that you're there. That's like an additional surprise for us. So thank you so much for that. And Suzanne, when you mentioned this idea about language, right, particularly for our students here in the US and for others who might be from the US, I just want to mention, right, we're doing this, you bring up this really important point, is so much of the media that's available is in English, either predominantly in English or only in English. And so we're asking Reem, we're asking Sangita, we're asking Annie to speak to us in a second language today, right? And to share with us their experiences and their context. So that was really helpful to get us sort of started in that domain. And so without further ado, I want to ask some questions of each of you individually. I have a couple questions for you as a whole, so we can continue with this story. And Suzanne, might I start with you since you were just speaking? Sure. So when you started your own business, right? So you're just about to launch, am I correct?
Yes.
So you're right in the throes of getting it started. So you have a lot of challenges, particularly this idea of networking. As you said, you've got social challenges, but also how do you get started? What networks do you have? How do you get financed? Can you just talk us through a little bit of that journey of the entrepreneurship startup?
Yeah, absolutely. So I totally tapped into all of my resources. So you name it. I was just talking to anybody and everybody who would listen. And that's kind of the beauty of a social enterprise, is that there's an emotional attachment, and people maybe are more willing to talk about and point you in a direction or help you because of the nature of what we're trying to do, helping people. So beyond though my, LinkedIn page, I just read up on everything, and so any article that had anything to do with refugees and mental health care or whatever, women and trauma, I reached out to those authors and I asked if we could meet with them. And so me and Reem actually went and met with this leading Syrian psychologist, and that's how we got that far. And very, very grateful for all of the mental health care professionals who've been willing to talk to me about this and to help us with this initiative. Beyond that then was, reaching out, and Rally was what really helped take it. So this accelerator that we went through, so to help us with that, everything else you said about financing and whatever, ultimately where we're at is that, and again, this is counter to the misconception that refugees don't have resources of their own. They do. So of the ones that we surveyed, about a quarter of them or more would like to pay something to be able to pay for themselves and someone else to talk to a therapist or have access to meditations and yoga and whatever holistic methods. And this is great because there's been other organizations that have faltered because they offer everything for free. And then there's also the association that if something's free, it's not as good of quality. So that's where we're at, and that's how I navigated those resources. I hate to say resources because I'm talking about people. That's how I utilize people who could really help us, and they did. So I was really pleasantly surprised by that.
Great. And so for those of you who don't know, right, to just check out Rally, the Social Enterprise Accelerator, which is based here in Orlando, but especially in today's COVID world, is really bringing entrepreneurs from around the world to Orlando to accelerate their work and think about their business model, think about their financing structure and all that sort of stuff. So thanks so much, Suzanne. And I'm going to switch over to Annie. And Annie, I want to ask you to help us understand a little bit of the context in Brazil. Because if I look at what is called GEM, the GEM studies, the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor studies, what we know about Brazil is there are a lot of female entrepreneurs, right? It's a different situation than India. There are a lot of female entrepreneurs. About 53% of Brazilian women are engaged in some sort of entrepreneurial activity. But the challenge is access to resources, which Suzanne just mentioned, financing, other sort of things like that. So as you think, Annie, about your journey, how did you overcome sort of those issues and those ideas? Now you're 4 years into business, I think you said, is that correct?
Yes, that's
so.
it.
Can you talk us through that journey as it is in Brazil?
Sure. I mean, first of all, I always have to thank my parents to support me because I know some people that are actually entrepreneurs or even have a dream, doesn't matter if they are already with a business or not, but they have a lot of problems because I mean, if you don't have a support from the close ones, the journey is already hard, doesn't matter how. But if you don't have the support for the close ones, it's even harder. Because if you don't have, like, you can talk with someone in your house, or if your parents, a boyfriend, a husband, doesn't matter. And they're like, I don't think that's a good idea. You just put a dream completely down, you know, just forget the idea. And sometimes it's a great one. So I have to thank, first of all, for my parents and the close ones to me, because they always have the support guards for me, even if they don't know how hard it's going to be or how it's going to be this journey. They always have my back. They always were by my side. So this is the first thing. I mean, that is probably the most encouraging thing that I could possibly ask for. And second of all, in Brazil, we have an organization called Sebrae, and it's actually for micro and small companies. They have this. They have places in all cities in Brazil, in all states in Brazil. It's a big country, so it needs to be everywhere. And they actually offers several courses, and they have some that are paid, but they have a large part of these courses that are completely for free. You just have to make some presentation of yourself, and they offer these courses for you and for your managing. And they have for finance, it's for marketing, for developing the managing, for, I don't know, how sell, how divide the things that you have to your company. Like, especially in finances, because when you are beginning, you usually mix your personal business, your personal account with your business account. That's the most problem everybody has. So they really teach you how to put the things in order and to make some planning to make things work. And this is, I mean, one of the most important things I think I did for me. I know I didn't have all these expertises I need for my company. I don't think any entrepreneurs has in the beginning. So you need to look for it. And I did that, and especially in finances, and I have some ideas of how to do it, but you don't know, in like day by day you need to have a fluxes of like how is going to make the money works, because I mean, money is not everything, but when you have an intern, when you are you have a company, even if it's a small one, you have to take care of that, because how much you are putting, how much you are taking off, how you are investing, and all those things, and was a bigger part and really helpful for me, and is available for everyone in Brazil. And if you are small, and if you even didn't start yet, just have the idea on your paper and you go there, they are going to help you. They put like a schedule once in a week for you. It's always the same person who is going, is like a therapist, but for your business. Yeah, it's funny, but it's kind of true, because it's always the same person who is going to make your appointment. So he's actually going to see your process too, because it doesn't matter if you like, today is one person, next day is another one. He's going to explain everything over again, and the things doesn't go with the flow. And so you need to have this background. So it's really good.
As I'm listening to you, Annie, it's reminding me of a couple of things. One is that idea of the importance of relationships, right?
Yes.
Which is a big base of what we do at Global Links, right? Building relationships, maintaining relationships, staying involved with our entrepreneurs, with our students, with all the different stakeholders. And the other, connecting to what Susan said, is checking the assumptions about our finances. Not only knowing, right? So the MBAs that are listening to us, or the students that are listening to us, they might understand the accounting, but really knowing the importance of what is incoming, outcoming, and what is mine and what is the business's. Because to your point, when you're working with your family and asking family and friends for that initial support, keeping those things separate is really critical, especially at the micro stage, right? When you're just starting out. So that's really good learning. And I have met your mom. Please send her our greetings, because we had the pleasure to visit Annie, as I said, and meet her mom, and I would agree, she's a wonderful support. So please give her our greeting.
For sure, I will.
Sangita,
Ma'am.
you have a slightly different background in terms of the technology. And so I'd like to ask you to help us to understand a little bit. As you know, we're in a technology-based business commercialization. So these students are learning exactly what you have gone through in terms of taking a technology that is not well known in India. Is that correct? The solar system is not well known. Using your engineering background, and also being a female in a very male-dominated space. So can you share with us a little bit of your starting journey? And you've been 2 years in business, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so talk us through a little bit of those challenges or the advantages that you had because of your education or because of your situation.
Yes. Yes, I am a woman electrical engineer. After 14 years of many industrial serve, and which mostly men's covered area. I took a decision that I chose entrepreneurship is my alternative career. But I was wondering how to start. I started thinking that I should transform myself from a simple woman engineer to a woman techno entrepreneur. It's a big challenge for me because it is a stable life, stable job. I will live that. But I am always a challenge taker.
Yeah.
And now I guess I will understand that it is a simple pretty taste of an entrepreneur. Challenge taking is a part of the entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And not only that, I am a first generation entrepreneur. So I also face so many hurdles and enable my brainchild to survive it. Because my business is my brainchild. It's come from my brain. So
Okay.
if it is survive it, how can it very much trouble it? It was a feeling literally my creation go that gave me the strength of accept challenges that man's worlds offer to me. I know that I have a confidence that if I am confident in my work and I maintain my commitment to my clients, it makes it much simpler to conquer my hurdles. And men have not been able to put me down just because I'm a woman. In that case, I just take a quote from Rick sir, which I am take from Rick sir in 16 June webinar. Rick sir says that men think me, women think we. So it's a reality. I quote from the Rick sir, and it is a reality, man. When we feel we, then we can do it.
That's great. Thanks. Yeah, we heard from Rick Goings in June, and then even again from President Cornwell. He quoted that idea of thinking men think of me, women think of we. I think we're moving into some place where I hope that those dichotomies are not as large. But and I loved how you said that your business was your brainchild. So there's a lot of risk, right? When it's your idea and your technology, and you're bringing a new way of thinking about electricity. And you sell, am I correct? You sell B2C, business to consumer, business to business, and some business to government. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So that's a lot of networking, right? That's a lot of different interfaces.
Plus added research and development, then added to teaching of other person who love it. I want they love it and they take it.
Yeah. And if you think
passionately, if you have passion, you can do it. It is not running.
Right. Passion and energy. Sangita, I know you. Your energy is beyond belief, right? You are a very energetic person. Yes. One other question that I have for you, if you think about those three customer bases, consumers, the business, and the government, was there any one that was easier? Like, oh, I wanted to start here and then go to that second target. How did you manage that?
No, the all thing not is possible. Very easier to hear because the solar energy. What is solar energy and what is the benefit of the solar energy? Here, know the person, but the awareness of the penetration. Till now, I give the customer, give the clients because the installation, first line installation is something is high. So it's a difficult, any sector, to B2B, B2C, B2G, they can love it at first. And we try to avoid them, why they love it, why they choose it. Then that work is going, move on.
Okay, right, yeah. And I just want to repeat something that you said, which I wrote down because I loved it. And it's something that we work on a lot with Global Links, is number one, having the self-confidence. Right, that you can do it. And the second is the commitment. So you've been in business for 2 years, but how long has the brainchild been working on this? How long has your brain been thinking about this project? More than 2 years, right?
Yes, sir.
So that commitment to stay through the rough times and the commitment to stay through the sort of, how do I say, the barriers that maybe came along with that. I want to ask Sangita and Annie, because you worked with Global Links, and Sangita, Annie, you told us about another program that has helped you. But can you help us through? And by the way, I want to call out the scholars who are online, who, as Yasmin explained, right, connect us with the entrepreneurs. So in Annie's case, the scholar that she worked with, some of you might remember I've met Denise Delboni. I think Dr. Pete, she remembers you and she remembers your innovations. And then from India, we have Dr. Sharmista Banerjee and Dr. Rumpa Chakrabarti, who helped us to connect. And they all spent time here at Rollins and at Crummer. So they're not participating today, but give us a wave so we know who they are. So I want to ask Annie first, and then Sangita, how has this global link, so the students that worked with you, how have they helped your business? And what do you think those students have learned because they worked with you? Annie, can you take us first with that?
Yeah, sure. I think most part of what's more important to me and to my business with my mentor, who's actually acting. Bruna is here today.
Yes, I'm here for Bruna in a minute. Yep.
Yes. The biggest difference was I defined better my niche, because I think when we start thinking about our business, and we don't really, I mean, of course we study that, but when you put in day by day, when you are actually executing the thing, is not as easier when you like just theory things. So, and define my niche, my audience, and for who I'm going to sell, and like seeing like, okay, I have this product, but I don't know exactly who I'm going to sell, and I was putting the product in the wrong places. And that's why my selling are not going very well in that moment. Was the most important to me. Bruna helped me so much. It doesn't even, I think she has an idea about that, but it's completely different today. And was one of the best things for me. Obviously, we are in 2002. This year is like a 2020 is like a crazy for everyone. So we don't have how to base this year in any kind, but even like the end of 2019 for me was a huge difference. I actually see better results for even sales, for people reach me out, talking to me and trying to understand better my product and everything like that. And the part of, I think Bruno was helping me a lot with marketing. And even if I have kind of, I knew a little bit about it. I didn't know everything, of course, like we never know everything. But I kind of have some ideas about company, like how to run like some business. I already have done that for years. So it's like, okay, I some parts of the business I already know how to do it. And I think I helped her to see that, like because we are, I don't know, we have this dream that is everything like, everybody's out opening a business, I'm going to open one too, it's easy. And it's something like that, like I'm going to do that too. And we actually don't see the problems in the process, and
the competition.
Yeah, the competition, and why the people give up sometimes, because I think you see like, oh, I have this problem right now, oh, let it go. And don't see like, you have to take a risk, you are going to have problems, of course you are. And the persistence that you need to have. And that's the kind of Sangita was saying, like she was thinking about the project way before she started, and that's the part. It's not always flowers. You have big problems during the process, and I think that's something. I hope she get something for me about that.
And you mentioned the adaptability, right? Because 2020 is very strange and hopefully once in a lifetime, right? Never to be
Yes.
repeated. But what new products can be developed? What new technologies can be leveraged because of that? So I think for students, right, seeing that live, with all due respect to all the professors who are present, we can say it and teach it and et cetera. But once we put a student into your business, they actually see it, and that's when it sort of hits you and you get it.
Yeah, like I was saying, theory is. Oh, I don't. Of course, I have theory in my life. I study fashion, like I said, and design. So it's not like I'm taking all the theory and put it away. It's not that. Theory is very important, but when you're seeing practice, like when you are executing, like you see completely like how is day by day, how is to do it, like putting in, like making happen. That's the
Theory
point.
plus execution.
Yes.
Theory plus execution. Great. Sangita, can I switch, Ali? Sorry. May I switch? May I bring Sangita in? Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
Sangita, can you share with us a little bit about your Global Links mentor and how she helped you?
Yes. In my work, I face a lot of challenges in digital marketing. My student volunteer Uttara Sen and my change maker Sanchari guided me sincerely how can I manage the social media and increase my number of forums or business. Just like LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. And after that, I face a significant risk in my business. And not only that, when I received the Outstanding Entrepreneur Award, it put me in such a level of hard work so that I could pay justice to the authority who facilitated me. As a sportsman, I feel that we have attained a relay race and where baton pass in the part of the game. Thanks to Global Link's entire team to choose me and give me the priority to enlarge my knowledge. My responsibility is to take this baton to pass on to this more women who make the beneath start their business.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And we're going to hear from the change makers and the volunteers, the mentors. We use slightly different terminology in different countries to be appropriate in the context. We haven't heard from Suzanne for a while, so I'm actually going to ask her mentor to come online and ask Suzanne a question so we can bring Suzanne back in. And in the multiple roles that Yasmin has, when Yasmin is actually the mentor to Suzanne and Reem for Rally. So Yasmin, do you have a question that you would like to ask Suzanne and Reem?
Yeah, of course. And of course, the term mentor is used very loosely because I learned a lot actually from Suzanne and Reem, and it was such a pleasure working with both of them. They came a very long way in the short time we worked together. So I have a question for you, Suzanne, because your business model is a little different from the other two. So you have an interesting business model where your target population that you serve, that your social mission is structured to serve, is actually in Turkey. But your team, who, you know, it's part you and part Reem, and then all your amazing mentors, they're both in Turkey as well as the United States. So how does working through this international format affect your business and your ability to deliver on your social mission, both in terms of how does it help and how does it add additional challenges?
Yeah, it is both. So it's not just in Turkey, it's in a very specific, the Parallel Society of Syrian Refugees in Turkey. Syrians in Turkey. And then in the United States. So the thing that's cool is I get, the best of both worlds, but then I have to process it and run it by Reem. So what happens is I get great advice from you guys and mental health professionals and anthropologists and whatever. But then what I make sure to do is to be really sensitive to the context. So whatever works in the United States doesn't mean that it's going to work in Turkey or among Syrian refugees or among women's Syrian refugees and in our age target. So I get some really great information and then I am very critical of a lot of it. And then I run it by Reem, and then we hash it out. And she's a little bit more pro-West, and I'm a little bit more, a cheerleader for Syrians. But yeah, what we're able to do then is find this meeting ground where we're able to learn from best practices, and we're able to take things that we think might work, and then to be able to present it and run it by other girls, and then to be able to kind of make decisions that way. It is the only reason it's not the only reason, but it is challenging because you have to go through that filtration process. But I think it's absolutely worth it because I don't want to just cookie cutter it or copy and paste anything. That understanding that it's different cultural context, different languages, different, religion, everything. What else did we say about the differences with Syrian and American? Yeah, just culture at large. Legal, you name it. So like there's all of these things that we have to make sure that there's congruency, or to kind of change it a little bit to shift it into the target and the people that we're trying to ultimately reach and hopefully help. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. So it sounds like it's two things that are very important are teamwork and communication, not just across your team, but also in terms of listening to the population that you're trying to help.
That's right. And me and Reem arguing with each other.
I like that.
And
There's positive
right,
yeah, positive confrontation and challenging, right? We don't want to surround ourselves with people who say yes all the time, who think like us, right? You need that person who's challenging you in a very respectful way, right? But who's going to say, well, why do you think that will work?
Yeah, we push each other.
That's great. That's great. The other thing that you're reminding me of is you did a great job of doing layers, right? So sometimes we go into the business and we think we understand it, but there are layers that sometimes we don't know until you're really in the market. So being an open ear, right, to hear those differences. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I wouldn't even euphemize it with layers. I would say like walls that we hit. And so just trying to get over those. Yeah, for sure.
Right. I want to now bring on Bruna, who Annie mentioned. And I think, Bruna, first of all, thank you for the great work that you've done as a Global Links mentor in Sao Paulo. It's great to see you again. And do you have a question for Annie?
Yeah. Hey, hi, everyone. I'm Bruna, and thank you for the opportunity. It was a pleasure working with Anne and Global Links. I learned so much about a lot of things. And now I have a question for her. And you talked a little bit about how Global Links assisted your business success. What impact, if any, has the program had on your personal learnings and transformation?
Hi, Bruna. Miss you.
You haven't seen her either, right? Even though we're here, you guys are in the same city, but you can't visit, right?
Yes, we are in quarantine for 6 months now, so we are talking, but we can see each other. Answer Bruna's question. Thank you so much for your question, Bru. I believe because I graduated in fashion, actually, I have this, it's not a good thing at all. I mean, it's not a good thing, but it's kind of way of thinking. We kind of create up a little think of trends when you work in fashion, like you kind of think like, oh, this is trend now, this is not trend now, and things like that. And you always think like, I like it, I don't like it, yes, I like that, I don't like that. And this is not good when you have a business, because you actually can have this thinking about liking or not liking, because it's more like a personal opinion than anything else. And you can actually think about personal, because the fact that you don't like something doesn't mean the other is not going to like. And maybe like, I don't like yellow, but doesn't mean that someone is not going to like yellow. It's just example. You know, you have to have mix of products that is going to actually be able to approach everyone, or almost everyone. Obviously, you're never going to be able to make everybody happy, because that's impossible, but it's the most part of people. So I think Global Links helped me very much to broaden and diverse my vision about that, even on personal life and especially on my business. I mean, try to put that a little more different vision. Like, okay, it's not because I don't like, the other people are not going to like, and it's not because, oh, I don't, maybe, like, especially because I work with inking, and my idea for my business is putting some color on people's lives. So that's not because maybe I don't like this specifically color, because maybe it's not good for me, that no one else in the world is not going to like. So I'm trying to make this a little bit diverse and trying to mix things that I don't imagine that's going to work, that's going to actually make it happen, because maybe someone is going to like, and it's actually happy, and it's actually funny, because I have some pieces that, oh my gosh, I didn't like that, but let's try. And sometimes the pieces that I think, like, this is not good, is the one that someone like loves like very much, and it's the first one to sell, and it's like a lot of people like, I want the same, and it's confusing, because it's like I said, I can look for my personal view to everything, because it's a business, and I have to see more diverse things, and I try, because of that too, try to get more references, and try to making courses and see things about colors and stuff like that, especially to change this view about my it's obviously, in my case, like I said, I work with colors, so my business is important, but to my personal life too.
Yeah, as I'm listening to you, Annie, you're reminding me of two things I want to repeat. It's this idea of, number one, as an entrepreneur, being open-minded, right?
Yeah.
And number two, as a business person, whether you're an entrepreneur or running in a regular company, if you will, you're an entrepreneur or you're just a manager, is to be aware of the customer needs. Yeah. When I teach marketing here at Crummer, I call it the fallacy of the n=1. I think this, therefore, that must be the reality. But instead, being very customer focused, being constantly in communication with your customer, so that you're producing what they want, not just what you want. Even though what you produce has your flair,
yes,
know that the customers want that. That's really super insightful. I hope folks wrote that down, because that's really insightful. Priya, are you with us? Priya is part of our 2019 program. Priya, can you hear us?
Hello, ma'am. Greetings to everyone.
Hi, Priya. Good to see you. It's been a long time. Do you have a question? Do you have a question for Sangita? Please.
Yes. So first of all, I would like to again give my due, and Global Links is like a family to me. I'm very, very glad that I'm part of this family. So I would like to ask question to Sangita, whom I met during the Global Links program, that we all know that technology is a very, very important aspect of any business. So most important technology skills for all the aspiring entrepreneurs to be familiar with, regardless of their business.
So, Priya, if it's okay, Sangita, I'm going to repeat it. We had a little audio problem, I think, here. So I'm looking for some acknowledgement from the people. So I'm going to repeat the question, Sangita. I have it written here. It's, what do you think are the most important technology skills for aspiring entrepreneurs, regardless of their business? Please, Sangita.
Yes, ma'am. skill is mostly now is a main part of the business. I describe in that way. Become a successful entrepreneur in is a for a many dream comes too. But the 1/3 of the small business fall in the last 2 years because of they don't. But I am not scared for everyone to start their startup. Just I make a point. My point is that please focus on your skill, which is you can do, and do your homework, and then take the the plan of the game before the start the game playing. Make sure you're focused on your idea, your vision, and your skill mostly. If it is if you take any decision from your facts, not emotion, you can do. And skill is the first and last word in your business.
So let me make sure I caught that, Sangita, because I think you had some very important points. Rely on your skills, have a game plan, and you said a third thing, but I didn't catch it. What was the third thing?
Idea, vision, mission of the
Yep, the idea, the vision, the mission of what you're trying to do. And that ties us back to what you were saying and connects what you're doing with Susan is not only your business, but helping the next generation to move toward their success, right? That that you mentioned before. That's great. That's great. Thank you. So what we normally do now, because we're right on time, actually, although I know that there's a lot of questions out there, and as you can see, we could spend all day talking to these three women, and through Suzanne to Reem, to four great women. But we promised to keep you to an hour, and we got started a little bit late for technology situation. But what we'd like to do to finish is ask everyone to activate their camera. And we put it into our gallery mode. And Juliana, so we have two of our graduate assistants here, Juliana Ungaro, who's from here at Crummer, and Selena, depending on what screen you are, you may or may not see Selena Danvers, our other graduate assistant. And they like to shoot a photo so that we can put that onto our onto Facebook. So Juliana, are you ready?
Yeah, I can take right now, and people will just know that you're smiling under that mask.
My eyes are smiling, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let us know when you're ready.
All right, so I'll take a picture for the first screen. Just 1, 2, 3. Now let me go to the second screen. I'll wait a little for the cameras to come up.
Yeah, if you're able, the folks we see, Abira, good to see you. Arkanita, great to see you. We have a lot of our students from India. If you're able to put your camera in, Abira has been with us from the beginning of Global Links in India. If not, we understand there's a lot of bandwidth issues.
Yeah.
No worries. Grab what you can, Juliana.
All right.
Dawn is hanging out with the second group.
Admitting.
Huh?
I'm not admitting.
Hey, you're not admitted? We want to get your... Yasmin, can you admit Ben so he can be in our photo?
I don't see anyone in the waiting room.
Yes, you are unable to go in the switch because you were previously in the once.
Oh, that's my fault. I kicked Ben out. My fault. My bad. My bad. Sorry, Ben. We'll wave to you from here. Go ahead, Juliana.
All right, so I'll do it again. Let me go. Where is Ben?
He's not there. We'll take a picture of him and paste it on our Facebook.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, great. So Yasmin, if you can take us back to our final slide, because I want for folks to see the names of our entrepreneurs' businesses.
Yes.
And both on Facebook and in the Zoom chat, you can see the names of the businesses and some links to their websites. So we hope that you'll help these women to continue their journey, right? And think through what they're doing, right? Add some ideas. If appropriate, purchase their products or services, support their products and services. And then we also want to invite you to our next webinar, which is on October 22nd. And what we're going to do is connect some of those folks like Priya and Bruna and the other students who have been working with Global Links and our Permer students who will be working in India with us in 2021 into a webinar so that they can talk about how this has helped them in their studies and in their career trajectory. So we have some great success stories from the students. So with that, I want to bid you adieu and say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again, Dr. Pete McAlinden, for having us in your class. Students, thank you for staying attentive and being masked up, right? And things like that. Thank you, everyone. We'll say goodbye and have a great day. And we'll see you on October 22nd.